On this week's show, am I too young to invest in property?
We give you behind-the-scenes news from the Eviction.
And we're going to be answering all your property-related questions. Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends. Hi, I'm Russell Leeds.
I'm Alasdair Cunningham.
And welcome to this week's Property Investors Podcast. We've got a cracking show lined up today.
We have, yes.
I love the way you're smiling already.
No, we're going to be answering a really hot topic. I get asked this a lot. Am I too young to invest in property?
Am I too young to what?
Invest in property.
I invest in property. Yeah, you do. That's good.
No, I do. It comes up lots because there's lots of people that come to Crash Course. They're only 16, 17 and they think that they can't get involved because they're too young. And
how did you get on at the watch auction? I'm just trying to see if you got a new watch on.
No, not yet. I'm
Did you
working.
not buy one?
No. I only went purely to watch somebody else. That was a little pun. I'm working with a guy at the minute to try and buy me a couple of nice watches.
Really?
Yep.
All right, explain. What is a watch? Well, actually, that's a stupid question. I'm guessing it's just an auction.
It's an auction
watches.
where they sell watches.
So what? I didn't even know there was such a thing as a watch auction.
Neither did I until Connor and it made me aware of it. But yeah, they were.
What's his surname?
Connor O'Reilly.
Don't know.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So he's just helped me. I've always wanted to buy a couple of nice watches, but rare watches as well.
Like Rolex.
Yeah, like rare Rolexes from like the 70s and.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you like old watches?
Because
they're brand new Rolex.
Because they don't appreciate the way older ones do. So then a good watch is an investment. 100%, it's an investment.
So it's an asset.
It is an asset. Absolutely.
Puts money in your back pocket, does it?
Doesn't put money in your back pocket, but it grows in appreciation massively.
Could you rent it out?
You probably could actually.
Rent it out, like,
per night.
Per night, yeah. So if you got a fancy do on,
yep, rent a watch.
Rent a watch.
Well, they do that with jewellery, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Yes, like all the high-end jewellers, like you can rent like a nice necklace or you can absolutely.
Really?
Like do you know when all these like fancy events you see on TV where all these women are done up in nice dresses and that, most of them are rented for the night, or they're either rented or they're gifted because the people that design it want the publicity that it brings them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you at that level yet?
Nah.
You got to rent it. You got to pay.
I've got to pay.
You can't turn around to Rolex and go, Rolex.
So for instance,
give me a watch. What I'll do is I'll sit like this on the podcast.
Property Investors Podcast.
And it'll be great publicity for you.
Yeah.
You'll have about.
Well, interestingly,
10,
it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't.
A lot of people just listening. It'd be terrible actually for a podcast.
It wouldn't be bad publicity considering we get 50,000 sort of views on like.
Yeah, but a lot of them are just listens.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't see it. So it'd be a waste of space.
Well, we can just tell them.
You could shake it. Could you hear it? This is a Calvin Klein. Also, you can't.
Calvin Klein. Does that mean it's a fake one, or is it a Calvin Klein?
I just say Calvin Klein.
Yeah, there was a D on the end of that.
I don't believe there was. Was there a D on the end? No,
I thought you said it was Calvin Klein.
I know you're Alasdair with a D, but not everything has a D. Okay. Let's just so to Calvin Klein. Will they pay me for this?
No, probably not.
Maybe they would if we talk about it more. Maybe we should plug more products.
But Rolex is nicer. But for instance, right?
Samsung.
If you want a proper phone, get an Apple. Like Samsung, even he says Apples are rubbish. Samsungs are rubbish. Keep going flat. Anyway, sure. But like some of these Rolexes, like from 70s, they're like worth £7,000-9,000, and they're going up very quickly.
Wow, there you go. You heard it here first on the Property Investor Podcast. Don't buy property. Buy a 1970s Rolex from an auction.
If I showed you them, you'd love it.
You don't even wear a watch.
I know. You don't wear them. No, you wear them on nice occasions, but you don't wear them regular. I wouldn't anyway, because you don't want them getting damaged. These watches are perfection, mate. So like they're from the 70s, but they've probably been worn like a handful of times, and they live in a little box, and they've got all the paperwork.
See, I can't help but thinking, what's the point? I'm not saying that. Someone was saying recently that their aunt had passed away, and when they were clearing her house, they had this really posh crockery in the stored away in the cupboard, and they said she'd actually never used it.
Yeah,
and she bought it for a special occasion. That special occasion never came. And it's just like, if you're gonna have something, enjoy it. It's like, why would you buy a Ferrari and just leave it sitting in your garage? You want to drive it, you want to have fun with it. Why would you buy a Rolex and not wear it?
Because depends what you're buying it for. Like,
if you're buying it purely as an investment, then fair enough.
And then, so the way I would do it is I'd buy it. I would wear it now and again, but only for like, I wouldn't wear it every day, like day to day, because like, even now, like, look at the way you're bouncing your watch. It's getting marked and damaged and things like that.
Yeah, but it still looks nice, doesn't it?
It still looks very nice. I'm not saying it doesn't.
So does it matter?
He's done it on purpose.
Do you know how I got this watch?
No.
I bought this watch for Samuel for his birthday.
Okay, why are you wearing it then?
Right, because I bought it for Christmas. And I was like, hey, bro, because he wears a gold watch. And I was like, I got you a silver watch. And he was like, I don't like silver. And I said, okay. But surely you want a bit of variety. So you got 2 gold watches. Now you've got a silver one as well. He was like, I just don't like. I was like, well, I really like it. I was like, if you hate it that bad, give it me for my birthday. And he was like, might do. Thanks. Right. Anyway, my birthday comes. He doesn't give me anything. Right. About a month after my birthday, he goes, oh yeah. That crap watch that you bought me. He's like, there you go. There's your birthday. I was like, oh,
cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate. But I like it anyway.
Did he even wrap it up?
No, of course not. He unwrapped the Christmas paper and just gave it me in the box. But hey ho, I'm not like I'm bitter about it or anything. Anyway, this week's show. Am I too young to invest in property?
Well, I certainly amn't. I certainly am not, and neither are you. But it's a question we get asked loads, and you see lots of comments on all the groups. People asking about.
One of the big ones is, what advice would you give for an 18-year-old wanting to invest in property? What advice would you give for a 19-year-old wanting to invest in property? Same advice as anyone else.
Exactly. What restrictions have you got as an 18-year-old investing in property? What restrictions?
Okay. First of all, should we look at the negatives for a young person and then look at the positives? Okay. So what are the negatives? It's more difficult to get so
you can't get a buy-to-let
mortgage
because you need to be 21. As the last I heard from the mortgage broker we use. So you need to sort of JV with somebody, or you'd need to have a source of funding. But the mortgage aside,
probably a parent,
a mortgage host. There is ways. Samuel done it from 17 using a mortgage host. So there's ways round it all. My sort of feeling is, if you're going to use age as a barrier, then you're already sort of on the back step. You need to forget your age and just accept that doesn't matter what comes because of your age. It's like any business decision, right? You make a decision to do something, and then you work out how you're going to do it with the circumstances that you're in. So, like, for instance, if you've got bad credit but you still want to buy a house, you look at your house and you say, look, this is where I'm at. I've got bad credit. I can't get a mortgage conventionally. So how can I get a mortgage? Yeah. Same as age. If you're 18, you can't get a mortgage. How can you get access to a mortgage, or how can you fund that elsewhere?
Lease option.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
Because then you're not getting the actual mortgage for 5 years' time, at which point you would be 21. Unless you
One of the
15.
The negative things I get told a lot from younger people is they feel that they just don't get taken seriously being so young. So John Raybould had that. John's 21, and he's a student, and he had the exact same things. He felt he wasn't getting taken seriously by estate agents being so young.
I think that's a lot about your presence.
Yes. Well, I proved that with John, that it was about his presence. Because we actually went out. He felt he wasn't getting taken seriously by estate agents. So I said, look, come on, I'll go out with you for a day. So we went out for a day with him. And I said to him, look, you go in to the estate agent and just do it how you do it. And you know John. He's a very switched on young man, but he's a little bit awkward in some environments. And then I let him go in first, and then we went to another stage, and I went in, and I said, look, just follow my lead a little bit. And then we went to another stage, and he was completely different. Now he gets taken very seriously.
I think the thing is often it's about how you. If you think I'm not going to get taken seriously here, you're going to go in there, and this is the same with anything. But if you feel I'm not going to get taken seriously, you're going to go in there with that energy and that presence of feeling like you don't deserve it, or you're too young. And you feel that, and then if you feel it, they're going to feel it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I remember the second time we went in. So when John went in the second time, his whole mannerism was different. Like, he was very confident, he was very direct and to the point. Whereas the first time he was very sort of sheepish and very beating around the bush to get somewhere. And I said, just go in, be direct.
Yeah.
Take control of the situation. Don't let them lead you. You lead them.
Well, Samuel's an interesting case because obviously he got started at 17. He did a video recently talking to a 19-year-old about advice. And one of the things he said, which I thought that helped him when he was that age, when he was younger, was he was like, at the time, you had people like Justin Bieber, who was 14, who was getting paid like millions and millions of pounds, and Wayne Rooney, who was 16. And people take them seriously, and they've got the presence, and they don't think, well, they're just too young, because they respect them for what they can do, not for their age. Yeah, and I think it's if you can, I think that's true.
The thing is, age is just a number, because I know some very, very intelligent 18 to 21-year-olds, but I also know some complete idiots that are 30.
I know an idiot that's 36. Complete.
Don't know who that is, because I'm 37.
Oh, I also know one that's 37.
No, my point being is the age doesn't matter. If you know what you're doing and you're confident about it, I don't think it's a massive issue. I really don't.
So the first issue is the confidence in yourself. Yeah. And I think what you got to remember is it's all about you. It's all about the if you're ready to do this, don't worry about that, and just carry yourself with confidence, and you'll be fine. Next issue is obviously the mortgage.
But it's been proven there's ways around that. Yeah. It's been proven. So there's ways around that. You just have to get creative.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, if you really want it, you'll get it.
What other negatives are there? Or is that about it?
I think that's really about it. Okay, as a 16-year-old, you might not have access to the funding that you would normally have access to for like credit. So
you could do rent to rent.
Yeah, you could do rent to rent. I'm not sure on the legalities of a 16-year-old entering into a legal contract, so you'd have to be 18 for that. Yeah. But so we do get.
So it might be that you need to. It might be that you can be the driving force behind it, but you need to buddy up with your dad,
buddy up
with your mom, or something like that. But you're the actual one doing it, and they're just allowing you.
Go back to Samuel, 17 years old. He couldn't legally sign a contract because he's under 18. He didn't have access to buy-to-let mortgages because he's under 21. But he still bought a house when he was 17 years old. And I believe, was it you? Were you his mortgage host? Who was his mortgage host?
I wasn't his first. Okay, I did one for him.
So he's had a mortgage host. So he got creative and he made it work. So listen, it all depends on you. If you want to make this work, age will not stop you. If you do not want to make it work and you're going to think of any excuse, then you'll always be using age as an excuse. So I just think get over yourself, man up, and just crack on. As Samuel said, somebody left a comment on the YouTube channel the other day saying, I'm 16 years old, I really want to come to the crash course, but I'm going to be really intimidated by people at the event because I'm so young and I don't have the confidence. Samuel, did you see Samuel's reply? Can we put it in the... Put it on the screen now. So we're going to put the comment on. Basically, Samuel said, stop being a pussy and get yourself along the crash course. Simple as.
Now, they do have a massive advantage. Yes. Young people do. Okay. I wonder if yours is different to mine. What do you think the massive advantage is?
They're so creative.
Okay.
I think the younger generation are they're so much more creative with things, and they're prepared to take much bigger risks.
Well, that's kind of linked to mine. Prepared to take much bigger risk because they've got nothing to lose. Yep. So the thing is, if you're the better you're doing, the more you've got to lose. Yeah. So if you, let's say you were in a job working 50 hours a week on 100 grand. Yeah. And then because of that, you've got a Range Rover, you've got an expensive mortgage, you've got expensive taste, you spend your 100 grand. Yeah. Then you want to leave that to go and do property or invest money in that. You've got something to lose. You want to leave your job. You haven't got time. But I know certainly when I was 16, 17, I had nothing to lose. Yeah. If I went bankrupt, which is pretty much impossible because I didn't have any money. Yeah. But if I went, I'm just living at home.
Well, let's face it. The age that people move out the family home is now getting higher and higher and higher. So I think the average UK age is like 25 years old to actually leave the family home.
How old were you?
22, 23. It was just before I started my first business. Okay. Literally, I left, bought a house, and then started my first business.
So you were on the young side?
I was on the young side, yeah. But the average age is, I think it's like 25, that people are living at home longer. So really, what have they got to lose? Nothing, because they're not going to lose a house. Because let's face it, most good parents are never going to kick them out. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I would never kick my children out, never. I don't care how old they are. They can live there. As far as I'm concerned, they've got a home there for life. So even no matter what happens to them, they're never going to not have somewhere to sleep. Not everyone's fortunate to have that. I appreciate that. But most people are.
The less you've got, the less you've got. They've got when you're that age, you've got very, very little to lose.
Yeah, and most 18-year-olds have not accrued debt, so they've not got debt, have they?
No, not got responsibilities, not got children. Once you've started getting children and family and people dependent on you, it suddenly changes.
Everything
when you're just you, and you haven't even got a home. You haven't got anything you got to pay.
Don't you envy them, though? Don't you envy some of them 18, 19, 20-year-olds that have got absolutely nothing to... Okay, they've not got perhaps massive incomes, but they've got nothing really to lose. That's a nice position to be in, do you not think? Where your decisions...
I don't really, no. Because...
I don't mean that... What I mean is just been in that situation where you've not got 101 responsibilities. Like, that's that freedom that brings of not having that responsibilities.
Not. I wouldn't choose to go back. To be honest, no. I mean, I liked it. For me, I like going through phases. Yep. I very much enjoy the journey. And right now, I'm enjoying where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying the. Well, I suppose I might, if I was in a job that I hated.
Yeah.
And I felt trapped in it or something, then probably I felt like I had to provide. But for me, I find, obviously I love doing what I do, and
I do too. I know
what you mean though.
Do you know what I mean? To have that no responsibility in life is you can see why a lot of people love it, because it's just so.
I certainly wouldn't encourage any. I mean, I got married at 19, so I moved out when I was 19.
Wow.
So I went straight into it very, very, very early. I wouldn't encourage my. I'd say to my kids, enjoy it while you've got it, and then move on to the next thing and enjoy that. I had very little children. I enjoyed that. Now they're a little bit older, 3 and 4. You've gone past the baby stage, and now I'm enjoying that. And I think it's all about enjoying your life as you go.
As it's being present and being where you're at.
Yeah,
enjoying where you're at. I agree with that. More so in the last 18 months, I've realised about being present.
Yeah,
not worrying about what's coming, but also forgetting about what's been.
Yeah.
And just actually living for where you're at and what you want to do now. Yeah. Good,
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
So no, you're not too young to invest in property.
Young. Get involved. Do it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, because you've got responsibilities anyway.
You're 19 or 20.
And
what's the worst that's going to happen?
The worst is you're going to learn a lot.
You're going to learn a lot.
So go in, learn, study.
Who was it that said, you never fail, you only learn, don't you? So it's never a failure. If you see it, you should never see anything as a failure. You should only ever see it as a learning exercise. So I think it was Thomas Edison with the bulb. He was told that he failed like 1,000 times, and he said no, it didn't. He goes, I had 1,000 prototypes, and now there's a bulb in in this room there's probably 20. Do you know what I mean? And there's a bulb in pretty much every room. So
very true, very true. Right, it's now time for this. I guess in the news this week, we've kind of replaced the news with just something that's kind of trending.
Yep.
Which is the Eviction.
The Eviction, yeah.
Hopefully you guys have been watching it. If you haven't, it's a 5-part series. We are 3 episodes in. And the concept of the show, 13 candidates put in a castle, living with Samuel, myself and Alasdair.
Yep.
And we're putting them through also. It's similar to The Apprentice. So they put through loads of different tasks, and then they get evicted each week. So episode 1 was that
was deal sourcing. They had to go out and find a deal and then pass that on to an investor.
Do you know anyone that does that well? No, that's BS, isn't it?
BS Limited. Yeah, okay, yeah, we do that, and we do it fairly well. We have a good system and good team in place. So you're
being very modest.
Yeah.
How do you think they got on with that task? What was your verdict?
Okay, so I had quite a good insight to that, because I remember being there, and I remember for me the biggest sort of cock up on that show was when Ricky shook the hand of Trevor and agreed to a £2,000 refurb on something that I said no, that should be at least £6,000-7,000, and they were so keen to get the deal that they're like, yeah, we'll drop the finder's fee to $1,500 and we'll do a £2,000 refurb. It's
so what's the lesson there?
Just don't be a dick. Don't be a motivated.
Don't be a dick. There you go, Ricky. That's the lesson, Ricky.
No, just don't be a motivated. He was a motivated deal seller. He was so desperate to sell a deal that he sort of cut his nose off to spite his face. Now, if you've seen episode 2, you'll see that it all come good in the end, but that's not the point. The point being is if you're doing multiple deals, you cannot do that with every deal. Because how many deals does he get physically hands-on with? You don't, do you? That's not what it's about. So just be realistic at all times. But in fairness, if you've seen episode 2, you'll see that Ricky pulled out of the bag.
Who got evicted from episode 1? I'm trying to remember now.
Steve Dyson and Elliot Powell. Which I do think Elliot Powell perhaps shouldn't have got evicted.
But he did the twirl.
I know he done the twirl.
You've kind of got to go just for the twirl.
Maybe Nick can put a little cutaway of that in just so you can see the twirl. I know that, but I actually don't think he was the weakest. Okay. Steve Dyson, I don't think he contributed much at all to episode 1.
Say it as it is.
And who else? I'm not going to say who else actually, but I certainly don't think it was Steven that needed to be evicted.
You mean Elliot?
Steven definitely evicted, but I don't think Elliot should have gone in episode 1.
That's a bit harsh.
I think it was a little bit harsh.
A lot of people thought James should have gone.
I sort of, I tend to agree on that.
Okay, I'm just judging off by what people are saying now. A lot of people are watching the show. Okay, so then episode 2, we had...
They weren't expecting that, were they? The delegates, the candidates, they were not expecting
the challenge. No. So they sell the deal and it's like, all right, you've got to go and do the refurb for the price that you promised. Like, we sold it too cheap.
Did you see their faces drop? It was brilliant.
It was interesting episode 2 because it was very much for me. Like episode 1, it was kind of quite close.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, who's going to sell it? Who's not? Episode 2, it was like, okay, well, they're terrible and they're awesome.
Yeah. So the Alicia's team. Alicia was team captain, wasn't she? No, NC was team captain. They by far had the easiest job. By a country mile, had the easiest job. They quoted 2 refurbs, like a decent high-end refurb, and that was like $4,000, something like that. And then basically a lick of paint and a few carpets for 1,170 quid.
And what about the boys?
The boys quoted a top-end refurb with a new kitchen for £2,000.
Alasdair is there on camera, meant to be motivating and helping them. He's literally, I'll do my best impression. He goes like, it's just like, you're screwed. You're screwed. And then Ricky's like, oh, there's hope, mate. There's hope. And he just walks off. It's like, no, there's not hope.
Ultimately, although they won the task, they actually failed in the refurb because they didn't deliver what they said they were going to deliver. So, Trevor, they
did.
No, they didn't.
They did the HMO to a high standard.
Yes, but they didn't deliver what they told they were going to deliver.
But the overall...
it doesn't matter. That's not what... It wasn't done in the overall. They had an agenda of works... And they quoted this. They did not fulfill that agenda of works for £2,000.
Well, they did because the investor was happy.
Yeah, but
so they did.
Listen, they done a fantastic job.
The only thing that
Ricky
Trevor was
pulled out
moaning
the
about was they should have sanded the thing,
sanded the windowsill, and he was a little bit.
You and I know that. You're like, I know that.
Yeah, and he was a little bit disappointed that the kitchen wasn't done.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the kitchen did look good. I'm not taking it away from the guys. They've done an amazing job. Really, really good.
But
Ricky pulled it out of the bag massively.
Days. Ricky did great.
He screwed up in episode 1 and he pulled it back in episode 2. I tell you who else done well, Anthony, because he's got a little bit of experience being hands on, and he sort of did sort
brilliant
of
job at the window.
The finger up.
Absolutely.
I was dead
impressed with that.
But in NC's team, it was just chaos. Nobody knew what they were doing. NC was a pretty rubbish team leader, to be quite honest. And she left. She went home for 2 days. She's like, see ya, I'm off. And she just left for 2 days. Kirsty went home. James went out. James went out and got drunk. He met one of his investors and went out and got drunk, basically.
He survived again.
Yeah, he survived again. What's that all about?
That did surprise me.
It surprised me because, like... Really, and he I don't think he actually cared. Like, so we were at episode 2, and I remember being in the boardroom, and me, you, and Samuel were discussing, and we're like, James doesn't give monkeys, does he? Doesn't care.
Surprised.
Does he even want to be here? I really thought.
I think he does care. It just did surprise me though. And then episode 3, in all fairness, episode 3
is the
was
best,
the hardest challenge.
Yeah,
but
they pulled it out.
You've got to go and find no me down deals. They got like a couple of days, 2.5, 3 days to go and do it. And oh my days, they were pulling them out of.
They were. I'll tell you what. Anyone that says there's no money deals, there's no money deals out there. If you've not seen it already, watch episode 3. because serious stuff.
I felt episode 3, no one deserves to go. We should go.
100%.
You're all winners.
100%. I remember sat in the boardroom, and you've got this team have done X amount of no money down deals, and this team have done the same amount of no money down deals. These ones were slightly better.
Yeah.
But they've all done no money down deals. They've all secured lease options and rent to rents. No money down.
They've all worked as a team. They've all...
Phenomenal. They all done really well. I couldn't pick one person that I thought lacked, really. No. Who got evicted from the end of that?
Episode 3.
So who got evicted from episode 2?
Episode 2 was NC,
Danny for that wall, because she painted that wall, didn't she?
And Kirsty for not answering. Kirsty, who you said to Kirsty, who do you think should be evicted? And she was like...
just didn't answer.
And then after about 10 seconds, Sammy went, Kirsty, you're evicted.
Do you know, I don't even know what Kirsty done in episode 2.
Kirsty, she did a lot of cleaning.
Okay.
She cleaned all the kitchen. She worked hard.
Did she? I don't know.
She worked hard. Yeah.
It was funny when you were showing... I'm going to go back to episode 2. It was funny when you were showing Madrika around the property, and she was just disgusted, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to see them. And you, what now? And she went, yeah, I want to see them now. And you went outside. As you were coming out, you were like, she ain't very happy. And you went outside and you said, okay, so the investor wants to see you. And they're all probably thinking, oh, she loves it.
The thing is, it was awkward for me because I went around the house and I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
Right. And then I've now got to show Madrika around the house.
But
I know it's terrible. Right. And I know it's nothing like what they promised. So I'm trying to point out the good stuff. So I'm like, hey, look at the floor. Oh, it's so much better than the floor before. And she's like, well, it's bubbles here, and I'm like, and then by the end, I kind of given up. By the end, I was like, yeah. She's like, it's not very high end, is it? I'm like, no, it's rubbish. It is rubbish. Yeah.
What was with that wall though? The bright orange sort of. See what Madrika said reminded her of a budget airline. That's so funny.
It's true.
I know it was hideous, wasn't it? It was hideous, but they deserve to go home. And all that shouting and bawling, what's all that about? It's not very professional, is it?
No,
I'm surprised Abby didn't go. I really wanted Abby to be kicked out of that event.
Did you?
Yeah, I think she deserved to be kicked out. You don't argue with people like that in business. You don't shout and scream in people's face like that. And there's been a lot of comments on YouTube about it. So I think they were both as bad as each other. But Abby started blaming NC for shouting first when it was actually Abby that shouted first.
You think?
Yeah, it was Abby.
Okay.
Abby raised her voice and then NC lost it. So, but it is what it is. I think it's very unprofessional, and I think both of them actually should have been evicted because of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it's very, very interesting. But episode 3, well, you might not have seen that, so we won't reveal who's.
No, let's not go too much in just in case you've not
3.
watched it.
But make sure you guys check it out. Just search The Eviction, and put it on social media, share it, give your opinions.
There is a hashtag for it, isn't there?
Hashtag The Eviction.
Yeah.
Hashtag The Eviction. Right, it's now time for this. So the first question is from Ezra O'Malley, and this is the question. Where are the top 3 places to get a HMO before Article 4 starts there? Edit, you guys are awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you, Ezra.
Cool.
So I don't know if there's 3 that we can think of, but somewhere, can you name anywhere where Article 4
certainly, one of the really hot areas at the minute where Article 4 comes in this year, so you'll have to be quick. Doncaster. Article 4 comes in 2019, October this year, October 1st. So you have to be quick if you want to get converting over there. Other areas that I am actively looking in that there's no Article 4 at present. I'm not sure I want to give them away, to be honest.
Isn't this the purpose of this show?
Right, I'll tell you some good areas to be looking at.
As much value as possible.
Okay, I don't mind. I'll tell you some good areas to be looking at the minute. Blackpool.
Ooh, you go on about Blackpool a lot. You love Blackpool, don't you?
I think Blackpool's going to explode in the next 10 years. I think it is.
We all hope so.
Yeah, probably for the wrong reasons, but yeah, there's lots going on at Blackpool.
It's needed that for a long time.
There is lots going on at Blackpool. Another area would be Long Eaton, just outside Nottingham.
Really?
Because that attracts a lot of people from Nottingham, and there's no Article 4. And some of the areas are quite high end. Some of the rentals are quite good.
Well, there you go. So you heard it here first. Long Eaton, Blackpool, and Donny. Okay, next question from Daniel Dodson. Hello chaps, love the show. Makes me laugh every time I tune in. Thanks, man.
Cheers, man.
I'm also booked onto the Deal Phonic extravaganza. I never use your own money again. Cool. Also, Alasdair's deal sourcing. Wow, you're on it, man. We love you.
Hold on, what's his name?
Daniel Dodson.
Yes, I know Daniel. He's coming to the mentoring. Starts in 2 weeks.
But in the lead up to those, while I practice, are there any rule of thumb when working out major, medium, and light refurb cost, or is it literally just judge each one individually? Thank you, and big up your bad selves.
Okay, we're going to cover this when you come and see me in a couple of weeks. The way I always do it, you can't. There's no such thing as a major, minor, whatever. It's all done by square footage and what sort of refurb standard you're looking at.
What's your rule of thumb? I imagine you've got big thumbs. I imagine, so I imagine it's a very big.
So when you go and look at a property, I would, for the first couple of times, take somebody who knows what they're doing with you, i.e. who knows how to look at property and knows how to price stuff up. For instance, I used to take a builder with me. I don't need to now because I know that a fire door costs £300. I know that a partition wall can cost about £1,000. So I know all this sort of stuff. I know that to skim a house, a standard sort of 3-bedroom house, to skim it is going to cost about £800. Paint and decorations about £1,700. You get to know you get to familiarise yourself with costs. It just does depend on what sort of level you want to put into it. So for instance, if you want to go really, really high end, the actual cost price of the products will be more. So the kitchen will be more expensive than a suitable but yet okay kitchen. So I wouldn't. It's a rule of. Every property is different. It really is. It depends what needs doing, and it's.
Well, I hope that really answers your question, Daniel.
It doesn't. It probably waffled, but I'll see you in 2 weeks, man. Anyway,
probably waffled. Is that like it as in I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting my words all wrong today.
You're referring to yourself as it. Just to clarify.
I can be an it.
Okay, Kyle Gin. I like gin.
I've heard.
Is that gin? We'll go gin. I prefer gin. Kyle Gin. Is rent-to-rent HMO all it's cracked up to be? I'm very interested in the strategy. I was wondering if you guys had any top tips or anything to avoid when looking at rent-to-rent deals. Love the show and your knowledge. Anything you could share would be great.
Okay. What do you think of rent-to-rent?
Rent-to-rent HMO?
Or just rent-to-rent in general?
Obviously rent-to-rent is very good. Rent-to-rent HMO, the problem with rent-to-rent HMO is that quite often there's quite high startup costs, i.e. your fire doors, all that sort of stuff. I would say the best way to do a rent-to-rent HMO is to find existing HMOs.
Tired landlords.
Yeah. Where they're struggling.
Do you know the problem I find with that is most landlords who have already got HMO, they want too high rent because they know that if they rent it out, they can get, let's just say £1,500 a month. So when you go into them and try and offer them a rent, they say, yeah, you can have it, but I want £800 a month. And then by the time you pay the bills and there's not a lot of money left.
People do make good money from it, though.
I know there is people making good money, but you've just got to know how to find these properties and negotiate the rent down with the landlord.
Yeah.
I've got no real experience with rent-to-rent HMOs because everyone I've done, I've managed to convert.
The only one I've done, and I actually handed it on in the end, because I just didn't want the hassle of it. But the only one that I did, and it did do very well actually. I was looking on Rightmove for just normal rental properties, and I noticed one that clearly used to be a HMO.
Yeah,
I was just like. I could see the fire door. I was like, okay, it's already got the fire doors in. Mm-hmm. And when I went to view it, it already had all the things, but it was on for a normal rent because they'd obviously given up.
Yeah.
And so that was I ended up managing to speak to the landlord direct. What I did was I searched on spare room and I found the ad. Yeah. From that property, because obviously it had been recent, so I contacted the landlord direct, and I managed to agree a rent-to-rent deal with him for the price. So
the last rent-to-rent HMO I went to see, and went to negotiate.
Did a bit of Face ID. I know I don't need a code as well. And my Samsung that just works.
That's why the Samsungs get hacked all the time. Anyway, the last rent-to-rent HMO that I went to see, similar thing. I found it on Gumtree. And I spotted the door closers in the background, but he had it advertised as just a normal single let property for rent. And I actually ended up, the guy agreed to a rent to rent, but I managed to then switch him into doing it as a lease option. So that ended up being a lease option for me. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of rent to rent. I like to own. I like to.
Yeah, but if you've started with no money, it's a very good strategy. Certainly a very good way of getting involved.
The lease option I got was no money. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people are making good money from it. So yes, it is what it's cracked up to be. You just got to be aware of the
and let them know how to find them.
All right, here's a quick one because we've got quite a few to get through. I want to get through as fast as we can. So on the Eviction Alasdair, this is a yes or no answer for you. On the Eviction Alasdair, have you been asked to have a face like thunder, or was that your natural resting face?
I saw that.
Adam Long.
I play the character well.
I can answer it for you. He hasn't been asked to have a face like thunder, but he has been asked to be serious.
Yeah, I was asked to be serious.
He's asked to not be smiley and joking. Be serious, and he's like...
It's funny because I fall into the character of being like a very
dick.
Yeah, perhaps quite easily because I know it's it's good. No. So I wasn't asked, but I was told to be serious, so I was serious.
Okay, you ready?
I can do it now if you want.
You go on and do the face.
I can't now because I'll have to smile. I'm not used to not used to having to do it. No.
All right, last one. Cool. David Chambers. Can't wait for the show. Well, it is here, so no.
And guess what, David? You're on it.
Longer. In fact, not only is it here, it's nearly finished, so you don't have to wait unless you want to wait for next week's show. Maybe.
Should we just put his question to next week now, just to tease him?
That's not what. No, let's do it. When a person approaches you selling their house, it doesn't happen too often to me. Does it happen to you?
Yeah.
Does it?
It does to me.
Yeah. When a person approaches you selling their house, how do you get them to believe your valuation figure is true? They'll obviously argue for a higher price.
Yeah, but it's like anything. When you're buying, you want to knock it down. When you're selling, you're putting it up. So, David, let me ask you this: last time you sold your car, did you try and sell it for the highest possible price you could get? You'd be an idiot if you say no. And likewise, the person buying it off you was trying to get it for as low as possible.
Yeah, I would show them how you worked it out. I would say, look,
got to be a common ground.
This is how I worked it out. This is the value I believe it's at. However, the most I can offer is this.
A little trick I use when I'm negotiating like below market value deals and things like that is I walk around with the vendor.
Add up the costs.
And add up the costs of everything. So I'm like, well, you want £100,000 for this house. It's only really worth 100,000, like maybe 110, but that kitchen's going to cost £8,000. I never tell them trade prices. I only ever tell them retail prices because bear in mind, most people that are selling houses, when you ask them how much is a kitchen, they'll always go by retail, by what it would cost B&Q to come and fit it. So I always use retail. So like the bathroom's £5,000, and before you know it, they're like you start.
And you go, look, with everything, all the work we have to do to get it up to be worth its £100,000, I can only offer you 70.
Yeah, you just got to learn how to negotiate and how to get them to give you the price without being unethical.
Good tip. Right, guys, thanks ever so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. We're back next Saturday at 7 p.m. You can listen to us on the podcast, so Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or obviously you can watch us on YouTube. And we will see you next week.
See you guys.